Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back, onesies, to the show that makes you think you're learning something when chances are you are not. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5, also streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcasts from. I am Andrew, riding shotgun alongside the man who is donating himself to the Icelandic Phallological Museum, the appropriately named Dick Ivy.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
What's up?
Well, I think you might as well just play the serious talk music, and because we're getting right into this bad boy. We don't have time for chit-chat.
How was your weekend?
You got to tell me about your weekend, because mine, I didn't do anything. But I know a little bit about yours, and I have to admit...
Yeah, it was a boys' trip.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm a little interested to hear what happened. I know very little, but I know the highlights. So, Dick... did you have a little mishap this weekend?
Let's just say I didn't have clothes on and the door was locked.
Boy, that's a reduction.
And I ran into our neighbor, and it was very. My favorite part about it was, I literally just cup, and I'm like, sorry, and then I just kept running. I was like, I locked myself. I go as I'm running away, I locked myself out of the door.
I think you're missing some details there in between. So tell us what happened. Like you were at a cabin or something, and you went to go shower.
The whole weekend was a little interesting because everything they told us on the phone was basically a lie.
The phone meaning the place where you rented the cabin.
It was a golf course. It's one of those places where they give you a cabin and you got golf and all that kind of stuff. Well, they were we knew we were in trouble when we all made the conscious decision to stay at the cabin.
Okay, on the course.
On the course, hey, we're not driving anywhere. This is what's going on.
Oh boy.
And
I think you're saying without saying, everybody was a little drunk.
Well, not even that. But we brought our food. We brought food for crock pots. We brought food for reheat. I brought a portable burner because they told us
crazy.
No,
man.
they're hey, yeah, there's not a stove or anything there.
It's like a golf course / campsite.
And then they're yeah, there's fridges in every room, and then there's a common area, and there's a fridge in there, and it's a big fridge. So you can store a lot of stuff. Well, we get there, no fridges in every room. So there's no fridges anywhere. So everyone that brought personal items like beer or food for themselves, can't store them there. And then the common area is shared between 30 different rooms. So everyone can use this one fridge.
Right. Okay.
And so everyone's well, I'm not going to leave all the sandwich meat.
That sounds like a dorm room.
Well, it was. Well, what's funny is we're looking for it and we couldn't find this common room. And we call and we're hey, what is this? Oh, it's room 115. So it's one of the rooms.
Oh, gosh.
So I was just I was so confused.
All right, you're burying the lead here, though, man.
So we're all hanging out, and we're all scattered.
Okay.
We're all scattered. And I got soaking wet. They poured stuff all over me.
Stuff,
beer,
Fecal
and, everyone was having fun.
Uh-huh.
And then I was I ran away, and I was started taking my clothes off because it was just gross. And I was I'm not dealing with this. And then my back patio was locked.
Okay.
And I was just oh crap. So
But you removed your clothing.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking, I was just trying to get away. I was just, I wasn't thinking straight.
So you were outside, removed your clothing outside, all of it.
All
so
of
you
it.
were nude.
I had my clothes in my hand.
Okay.
And I was I was covered in, I don't want to it was food.
So you could have in theory put the clothes back on. Then.
Yeah, but it was covered in sauce and food and
But you rather just walk around in the buff, apparently.
It was just a quick thing. I ran.
You needed somebody to come and unlock your door, basically.
Well, no, I remembered I unlocked the front part of the door.
So you had to walk around.
So I walked around, not thinking straight. And I'm walking around, and I'm going through the alleyway or whatever you want to call
Looking
it.
like Bigfoot.
Between the cabins and where all the septic tank is and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't think anyone's over there. Who would be over here by the AC units?
Just women and children.
Well, there's a guy smoking a cigarette.
What's up, dude?
And I'm like, whoa.
I'm Dick IV.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
And I was like, I ran. I just ran. And I ran to my front door, and we're good to go. And then,
Hey, maybe you've met me. I'm on the radio.
yeah, and then later that night, they were having a party at their cabin. You could see them. And I was like, oh, man, those guys know who I am. Oh, great. So I walked over there and apologized to them. I was like, hey, sorry.
I'm the guy that was naked earlier.
Because this was like at 3 p.m. This is like in the middle of the day. And I thought we were secluded enough where I was like, oh, I'm good.
I can make it quickly from the back of the building to the front of the building, holding
Even
my
though
clothes.
we're on a hole, but like
I think I would have at least put my underwear on, dude.
I didn't think. Well, I wasn't wearing. We went swimming, so I was wearing
Okay.
a swimsuit, and I was just covered in stuff, and it was just like I just went to my back door and I go, oh, I'm good, and then when I like basically that motion of taking off the shorts, reaching for the door, and you're like, what? It's locked.
I think my first response would have been put the
back.
clothes back
yeah,
on.
I didn't. I was like, "What? Screw it! I'm just trying to get out. Like, I just need to."
Of course, you are the one that would change outside of the changing room at Academy as well, just right there. So
Yeah.
I guess this is pretty consistent.
Yeah. Well, no, I realized then I was like, I should stop being so brazen about this because
Yeah, I mean, someone could have seen you and pressed charges or something.
yeah,
right?
that's why I was like,
Put your pants back on,
but
man.
what are the odds of a dude in the out like in between this like the AC unit? Like
Yeah.
there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And it's just like no one would ever go around that way like I am unless they lock themselves out, right? Like
Yeah.
you would usually go through the cabin
Sure,
and
sure,
go
sure.
through your little fireplace thing.
This was not the story I thought it was. I thought
So-
there was some sort of bathroom situation where you were going out to shower in an outside shower or
Oh,
something,
no,
and
no.
somebody took your towel,
No, I
and then
was
you
just-
went, and you didn't have a towel, and you had to walk back through in
No.
the buff.
No, I could have easily put my bathing suit on,
But you
but I didn't because I was like, well, it's just right here. I'll just go real quick and like whatever, and then.
So did the guy remember you?
Oh yeah, they totally remember me when I watched. Like,
I'm just
oh,
wondering how many naked guys this guy may have
Yeah.
encountered
Oh,
throughout the day.
he was like, hey-
which one were you?
He's like, hey, you're the naked guy. I'm like, yeah, that's
Yep,
me.
that's me.
And he's like, okay, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just locked myself out. And he's like, yeah, okay.
But you were holding clothes in your hand, I noticed. Oh, yeah, small detail.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those weekends. That's what happens.
Oh, Dick's Naked Adventure, man. That is greatness. Thank you for that.
But I will say I'm
just
not.
going to pretend that you did it for show content because that
No,
is
well,
wonderful.
I'm known for doing stuff like that, and it's just it is what it is. And I'm not ashamed of myself. But yeah, I apologize to those guys.
So awesome.
But other than that, man, it was cool. It was a nice place. It was really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another weird scenario that happened was we went to the pool, and this isn't really necessarily a resort because what I discovered, like I said, the cabins we had, like that's pretty much the only thing you have there. So there's not like a hotel or anything like that. So when the guy was telling us we had to have wristbands, I was like, that's really weird. Like, why would we need wristbands? Well, it turns out a lot of people come up there to go swimming because they have this really cool pool.
Oh, cool. Sure. Yeah.
But you have to be a staying member or a member of the golf course.
So when you were walking around naked, did you have your wristband?
Well,
on?
no. Actually, yeah, I did. But we get there and we're having fun, and this girl comes up to us because they got mad at me for moving the trash can. Mm-hmm. And I moved the trash can because we were drinking beers.
Is this Sans clothes or is this a different incident altogether?
This is before.
Well, okay, so you
Yeah.
have clothes on in this
Yeah,
scenario.
I'm swimming.
I think it's more fun to imagine that you don't. But go ahead.
I'm
go ahead.
swimming, and this lady comes up, and I thought they were like yelling at us for moving the trash can because we were
Right.
drinking. I mean, we had 8 guys there, all drinking beer, so you can imagine how many beers were being consumed. So I was like, oh, it's just easier for us to move this over, so we're not just littering.
Right.
And
You're being so considerate.
well, I thought I was. Well, this lady goes straight up, like, accused us of throwing beer bottles or beer cans over because it's like a 3-tier pool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like steps, and we were in the middle step. Well, she's saying we were throwing these beers over to the first tier, and one had like cigarettes in it. And
Which is clearly not the point or the case. You were throwing it to the tier above you, not below
yeah,
you. Yeah.
well, and I was sitting there, and I was kind of confused because for the first minute, I believed her. I was like, "Which one of you idiots?"
exactly. And you're like, well, this isn't beyond us, actually.
Yeah, like, which one of you idiots? Well, it turns out some of the guys were like calling her out on it. Like, we never did any of this.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? Where's this can?
Yeah.
This kind of stuff. Because I was concerned we were going to get kicked out.
Sure.
But no, apparently she made it up so she could just meet our friends.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, she could have just come up and be like, hey, can we join you?
So that was her pickup line.
That was her pickup line. Because they didn't believe her, and she walked off. And so they, like, literally jumped in the pool next to her and be like, so where's this can?
Oh yeah, that's not a good pickup line, I don't think.
I
But
don't think.
But it worked. She hung out with you guys for the rest of the day, didn't she?
Well, with them, I was I mean, any girl trying to do that, I don't know if I want to be involved with.
Right?
Because she'll accuse you of something else later, and you're like, oh, that didn't happen.
Yeah, probably so. Well, it sounds like that was a crazy good time, man. I did not do much of anything. So
golf was interesting.
Yeah.
I saw my friend. I saw someone get hit in the face with a golf ball. That was cool.
Good God.
Well, it was one of those holes that has like just trees everywhere, and it was just an unlucky hit.
Whoop! Straight sideways and smack back at him. Yeah.
Smack.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh man, that's awesome. But
awesome, man.
But other than that, man, that was good. I'm glad you didn't do anything.
No,
You're
but
boring.
I did know I worked on a new segment for the show. Are you ready for the name?
Yeah.
The new segment is, didn't know that. Yes, I've got a new segment called, didn't know that, where we are going to give you interesting facts that you probably didn't know.
Okay,
And if you
fair
did,
enough.
just pretend that you didn't. So hey, man, when is the last time you went to the zoo? Right? Were you one of these kids that went all the time when you were younger?
I want to say the last time, realistically, I was on a date.
Oh, wow. You took a
Yeah.
girl to the zoo for a date. All right. I suppose that works out.
No, it was a terrible date because I basically asked her out and we're talking, blah, blah, blah. And I gave her like, hey, here are my ideas. This is what's going on. Because they had a new Galapagos dragon thing, whatever they call them. You know what I'm talking about? The big dragons,
Yeah.
lizards.
Yeah.
whatever.
I watch Game of Thrones. I know what
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the zoo had Houston Zoo, and I sent her like a list of just ideas. And the only thing I got from her is, let's go do all of them.
And she's like, wait, no, you're supposed to pick one out of the three, not all of them. How much cash do I got?
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was more of like, that's all day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did,
And
you get to ride the dragon, though?
No, what actually, this is a great story.
Come on, man.
We spent all day together.
Way cooler if you did.
All day.
Uh-huh.
So we went there, we went to the Picasso exhibit, and then we went to like
Look at you just throwing money around.
I forgot what the third
Dude,
place was.
I want to date you. Get to go
And
to the zoo.
we had a great time, I thought.
the Picasso Museum.
And I,
Not afraid to walk around naked.
well, no, I made fun of her for making fun of somebody.
Okay, probably not something you want to do on a first date.
Well, I didn't think it was fair. And she was,
An eye for an eye, huh?
well, no,
I'm going to teach this woman a lesson on the first date.
And this probably isn't how it even happened. But she basically made fun of someone's clothes. Like, why would you wear that to, you know, this art exhibit?
And you're looking down at your 20-year-old T-shirt from high school saying, I wonder what she's thinking about my clothes.
Well, no, and I looked at her. I was like, well, that's not fair to say. Like, someone could say easily something about what you're wearing.
Oh, that
And
was...
she was like, what?
Jeez.
And I go, well, I go, just from another perspective. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I think it's unfair to say that. And, you know, whatever. Well, anyway.
Was it really worth it to make the comment?
Well,
Oh my
I just
God,
didn't think
man.
of it. I mean, when someone says something like
But you
that.
were joking.
Well, I was joking. I was trying to make it
Okay.
like logical joke. It's like, it's unfair, but you get it.
That
Well,
was a
anyway,
mistake.
what I love is we spent all day together after that. And then her friend calls me. She's like, what did you say to her?
So awesome.
And I'm sitting there going like, what do you mean? Like, we spent all day. So I said a lot of things.
Yeah.
And she's like, you made
I
fun
said
of...
said a lot of inappropriate things throughout the day. Be more specific.
And she goes, yeah, you said something about her clothes and how it's inappropriate what she wore. And I go, I said that like in the morning. So she spent the whole
Whole
time
day.
with me thinking I'm just such a butthead.
You know what
Like,
that reminds me of? That reminds me of people ordering something that's wrong, eating half of it, and then taking it back to him saying, this is the
Yeah.
wrong order.
and I was
She
like,
could have ended it right there.
yeah, I was like, she could have just said like,
I
oh, I
ordered
don't,
the steak medium well,
I don't
but you
have time
ate it.
to go to the zoo. Okay. That's fine with me. Like, I didn't really want to go on all three of these places. I
Yeah,
figured
we
it's-
could have just been one and done.
Yeah, I was like,
So that was
yeah.
the last time you went to the zoo.
that was the last time she spoke to me.
You're right.
Can you believe that?
Well, I went when my kids were little, you know, periodically, and I guess I went when I was little as well. But I haven't been in quite a long time, and I guess there's a new trend at the zoo. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but apparently there's a zoo in Toronto that is asking its visitors to stop showing the gorillas content on their phone.
I believe that.
Apparently they're holding up, visitors will come and hold up their phone showing pictures or videos to the gorillas, and the gorillas will sit there and watch, which is kind of funny if you think about it. But sometimes they have negative reactions to the videos, so they're having to tell these people, please stop.
I mean, what's wild about that is people forget how dangerous zoos can be.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least these are,
So,
yeah, contained, but I mean,
no, you're never contained.
if you're showing the gorilla bum fights, right?
Yeah.
And then the caretaker comes and take care of him, he turns around and goes nuts on him because he just saw a video. But I think they should probably Give
don't
them the
know.
phones, man.
I
They
would
apparently they
actually-
like them. Give them the phones.
If their exhibit was fighting gorillas, I would probably go to the
Oh, they
zoo.
do fight, man. Gorilla fights are brutal.
Well, I know what I'm saying. And koalas.
Wait, a gorilla versus a koala, or
No, just
koalas
when
against
koalas fight each other. If you haven't seen that, look it up.
No. Okay, is it
They
pretty
sound
brutal
like
too?
the devil.
Oh my god. Okay.
They legit sound like the screaming devil attacking each other. But they attack each other like dogs, how they attack each other, where
Yeah.
it's like one bite, two bite, oh, separate. One bite, two bite, separate. Like dogs who like each other. Mm-hmm. Not like killer dogs. But I'm like, you ever seen dogs play fight?
Sure, of course.
So it's like, oh,
Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, though.
well, that's
whether
what
or
I'm
not-
saying.
yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it looks like, ooh, that looks like it hurts. But then it's like, oh, they stop. And then they shriek. And it really is intense. But,
Wow.
But yeah, no, I
had no idea people were doing this, though, but it makes sense. But I think they should just give them the phones and then, like, just monitor their usage, like a kid.
yeah, but they wouldn't come out
For,
of
like,
their,
good behavior,
they
you know,
would-
2 hours a day.
They wouldn't
That's
come
all.
out.
That's all the gorilla gets.
They,
yeah,
they wouldn't come out at all. They'd just be sitting there scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah, it says Maria Franke, the zoo's director of wildlife conservation and welfare, told the Toronto Star, which is where I got this from, that the gorilla named Nasser had been particularly affected by the sight of cell phones. Yeah, well, they had the same effect on human beings, too. Good God, man.
I mean, yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. Like the zoo's a cool place, but I can't imagine doing flash photography. I remember that being a thing. Like at certain exhibits, you couldn't do flash photography, but it was
Yeah, because it would
phones.
freak them out.
Yeah,
I knew
I
that.
remember
But that's
that.
taking pictures of them. I never even thought about scrolling through TikTok and been like, hey, check out this, and showing it to the gorilla. But the fact that they're interested in it is hilarious to me, man. Have you heard of this this new term called skip lagging? I had never heard of this before, and now it seems like it is everywhere.
Okay, what is it?
So skip lagging is the term given to people that book a flight that may have a connection somewhere and they don't make the second connection. So for instance, let's say I'm going from Houston to San Francisco, but there's a layover in Denver, and I don't want to go to San Francisco. I actually just want to go to Denver.
Yeah.
So you fly to Denver and you get off the plane and you just leave because you're at your final destination. Well, apparently airlines don't like this at all.
Are you
It's
saving
a
money?
Huge deal. So it is. So in a lot of cases, a one-way ticket from, like, say, Houston to Denver, depending on the scenarios, is more expensive than to another destination. So, but if the layover is in that your final destination, you get a cheaper flight, and it's called skip lagging.
I like it.
Yeah. And apparently there was a 17-year-old boy, Logan Parsons, this is from Yahoo News, by the way, that's been banned for 3 years from American Airlines after the company caught him planning to only use half of his ticket and get off of the plane during his layover at Charlotte, North Carolina, instead of New York City, which was the ticket's final destination. And I'm thinking, so what?
I could have.
Who cares?
I could have sworn several years ago there was a guy who made an app that did exactly what you're describing.
There is. It's called skiplagging.com.
Okay.
And I think it's called skiplagging.com. But anyways, you can go to these sites and actually get tickets. They know they're looking for flights that I guess the app can actually indicate or find where the midpoint is, the layover, and then if that's your final destination, it hooks you up, blah, 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 blah.
yeah.
So I contacted our aviation expert, who will remain nameless.
He's been on the show before.
Maybe, maybe not. I didn't
Okay.
say that. And I asked him, I'm like, dude, have you heard of this skip lagging? He's like, yeah, I've heard of it. What's the big deal? And I'm like, apparently airline companies like really hate it. What's the big deal? And he had no idea why. And I'm like, is it a security thing?
Well, I think
What
it's
the
also what I don't think. I think the reason they don't like it is they're losing money out of it.
But they're not. The ticket's already been paid for. And my thought is they should, if they're smart about it, why don't they use this to their advantage and say, oh, if someone
Wait,
doesn't want to go to their
so
final
you're
advantage.
saying the ticket to like
already-
say I'm going to I buy the ticket to go to New York, but I'm
Yeah.
really trying to go to Ohio.
Correct.
Whatever. So you're telling me the ticket it's cheaper to fly to New York with a layover in Ohio
Sure.
than the ticket would be from here to Ohio.
Possibly.
Because
Yes.
I can see them getting mad if the ticket to New York is like twice as much.
If it's a hub to hub or something like that, it might be cheaper to
But
do the layover. Yeah.
because
Might be like $100, $200 cheaper in some
To
cases.
be honest, I don't know how airlines work. I don't know if they refund money. I always wonder if like if you're on the air like you're in the airport for like 12 hours, do they give you any money back or
No,
anything?
man. No.
So it's like
No.
they kind of can do whatever they want.
But then I thought, is it for security reasons? I mean, what's the deal? I can't possibly imagine. But if they were smart about it, they'd say, okay, if you want to skip lag, check this box here, and that will automatically open up the second half of that ticket, and they can resell it. or they give it up for standby or
don't
something.
know.
But I don't know. But he was this person
Or
who
you
will
know what they
remain
could do is
unnamed.
just start selling drugs.
What does that have to do with anything? I mean, that's a good idea no matter
if
what.
they're trying to make money, they start loading up the drugs. Like, we didn't sell 3 seats. That means we got 3 suitcases available. Just start loading them up.
I thought it might have been for weight too, because they actually I wasn't aware of this, but planes will take an estimated weight before the flight, so they know how much cargo they're carrying or whatever. I guess for fueling purposes or whatever. And I thought, well, maybe if the person isn't there, but that's one person, that's not going to affect it. It'd have to be like half the plane or something. So I'm not entirely sure. But skip lagging, I saw it 3 times last week. I'm like, okay, this story's obviously making the rounds and blah blah blah. But I don't recommend it. Not a good idea. You know what I do recommend though? I saw this article and immediately thought of you, Dick, because this looks like something you would have probably read about on Reddit or 4chan. But there is a teenage boy in India who is worshipped as a Hindu monkey god. I don't know if you want to show the picture.
It's not real, is it?
I have no idea, and I don't really care.
All right,
It's so
I'm
gross.
pulling it up. All right, so this guy.
So what might a teenage boy, or why might this teenage boy be worshipped for? Well, he has a 2-foot-long tail growing from his back. It is absolutely disgusting.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks like his back hair.
It is. It is his back hair. So he has unusual growth ever since birth, apparently, and his dad apparently cut his hair when he was 5, and he got deathly ill because of it, supposedly. So they have vowed to not cut it again, and it just continues to grow. And so apparently in some of these remote areas of India,
Pretty baller.
that is so gross.
Well,
I don't know if it's real or not, man.
Well, because I've always wondered, like, your armpit hair stops growing at one point,
yeah, it does. Yeah. So
or it slows down.
Mine did anyways.
Significantly, where like you're not one day waking up with like hair coming up to your face,
right.
but I guess your back hair will just keep growing.
Well, in his situation, it did.
Okay.
But at least it's kind of 80s metal baller looking, right? I mean, it's kind of cool. He can do it and like put some beads or something in there and but he's worshipped as a god. I don't know that I'd worship him as a god, but I would give him a knuckle bump if I saw him.
Okay.
So disturbing, man. I saw this interesting story as well. I guess I should have probably tagged this with the airport story. I know that you are a knife guy and brought a knife, or attempted to bring a knife onto a plane, right, several years ago. Mm-hmm. And they said, sir, what are you doing?
And I said, well, try and get on a plane. And they're like,
With a knife.
With a knife. I'm like, oh, shoot.
And sir, you aren't wearing any clothes. You're holding them in your hand. Oh, yeah, about that.
It happens.
It happens. I'm trying out for the Phallological Museum.
I mean,
I'm traveling to Iceland. Right.
Sometimes it's just luck of the draw sometimes.
Well, this is on Forbes, and I think this actually happened a few years ago, but I just ran across it, that there were some American tourists that caused a really large scare at Israel's international airport. What do you think they attempted to bring on or bring in?
I don't know. Like a head?
I think a head probably would have passed a little bit. What's the one word you're not supposed to say in the airport?
Gun?
Or
Drugs? Bomb.
Bomb.
You brought a bomb on?
They brought a bomb. They didn't know it was a bomb, I guess. So apparently they found this explosive on a souvenir visit to an Israeli-occupied Golan Heights airport, official said. Yeah. And they didn't know, but apparently it was during a war from the 1960s, and they found it, and it was unexploded. And they thought, hey, this is cool. We'll just pick it up as an artifact, and brought it into the airport. Of course, the airport's like, oh, immediately everybody on lockdown. I don't know if you want to show a picture of it. It looks pretty cool. It looks fairly well preserved. But can you imagine that thing up, especially if they had it just in their luggage or something, and the air pressure changes? Kaboom! That sucker would have gone off. So yeah, it kind of makes your knife story seem pretty weak, man. That is insane. But yeah, they said the scene there at the airport was chaotic.
I mean, it was chaotic.
What were they thinking?
It was chaotic with just a knife.
Right. Can you imagine bringing
like I just,
a 60-year-old
and I even told the
bomb?
guy, I was like, hey, I didn't intentionally do this. Like I literally emptied my pockets because you asked me to empty my pockets. And I just had a pocket knife on me. Like I just didn't even think about it. But I don't know why we have 4 people in front of me like wanting to haul me off right now. Like, you can keep the knife. I
Sure.
would prefer you not to keep the knife because it's engraved and it's a gift. So I was like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you can ship it. I'm like, okay, cool. I paid like $20-something for that.
Yeah,
to, like,
man.
ship it.
Yeah.
It's like,
You
there's
have to. Well, they got you. You're a captive audience at that point.
Yeah, no, I get it.
All right, are you ready to play? Didn't know that.
This is the worst game.
It's not really a game.
This is even worse than those other games you wanted me to
Oh,
play.
Dick in the News. By the way, we have got another Dick in the News. It is
Yeah,
in the works.
it was last show at the very end.
Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, if you didn't hear the last segment on podcast, it was cut off at 55 minutes.
That was my fault.
Go back and reload it. The last segment was interesting.
It was. It was because I left it up on the computer. And so
Oh,
when people
no.
would come in on different shows, they're like, what are you looking at? I'm like, ooh. Did you know there was a museum with penises?
It was awesome. But yeah, I was at the very end of the show, and for some technical difficulties, the podcast for a few days did not have the last segment on there. But
Yeah.
alas, it is on there now. Okay, it is now time to play. Didn't know that. Did you know
I hate you.
that most people do not breathe equally from both nostrils and tend to have a dominant side?
Yeah, because I have a deviated septum.
Yeah, but you're a special case.
Yeah.
You've also volunteered for the Phallological Museum, so you are a special case. Well, at any given time, people do about 75% of their breathing from one nostril and 25% from the other. Okay? And the nostrils switch throughout the day without you knowing it. Isn't that so weird?
I mean,
You don't even know it. So during the morning, you could have one that's just going and
Yeah.
blown, and then within a few hours, the next one comes by. And it did say that right-handed people seem to have a favorite nostril, that they'll mostly breathe from their right nostril, and left-handed people will mostly breathe from their left nostril. But it will move back and forth throughout the day. See? You didn't know that, did you?
no, you know what my next segment's going to be called? Why do I care?
Because you have a deviated septum, you of all people should care. Did you know?
Did you know? This is going to be good. Did I know what?
No, this one's not very good. It's just kind of interesting. Maybe I should skip this one. Oh, this one's awesome. We're kind of running low on time. I'll save a few of these for later. Did you know that a hamster can drink more alcohol by body weight than any other mammal on
Interesting.
Earth?
So that is interesting because I don't really care.
He cares. I didn't know that either. But apparently some University of Alaska researchers
really
have
mean.
discovered that hamsters are the heavyweights of the animal kingdom when it comes to drinking. And in fact, they love it so much, they would prefer to drink 15% ethanol instead of water.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they have the ability to drink up to 18 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is the equivalent of a human being downing 1.5 liters of 95% alcohol. Good God. Didn't know hamsters could throw it back, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay, last one before the break of didn't know that. So, I don't know if you heard the story here recently of the U.S. soldier that defected to North Korea. He was being transferred, I think, from plane to plane.
I didn't know he was defective. I thought he was like,
When you get up and you just run towards the border, that's defecting.
oh.
He was in custody of the United States. I think he was being transported. I think the guy's actually from Fort Worth. I should have probably read more about that story instead of this story. 'Cause
Okay,
this was
so
an
why would
accompanying
he defect?
He was in trouble of some sort. He was facing some charges or allegations, and he thought, you know what? Instead of facing these, I'm probably going to go get in some trouble. I'm just going to run to North Korea and see what that's all about. So he just ran to the border, got past there, and is now in North Korea. But apparently this has happened in the past, and I wasn't aware of this, that throughout the history and since the Korean War, there have been U.S. soldiers who have defected to North Korea.
Yeah.
A lot of them became Korean movie stars.
I know that. I know there's a lot.
I didn't know
I know
that.
there's a lot of Caucasian, like not Caucasians, like people who are not North Korean. That's how they did their movies.
Yeah. So when they need like bad guys or villains or whatever in their movies, they use these soldiers as actors.
Yeah.
How crazy. I did not know that. So there's several guys who, after defecting in the 1960s or whatever, run over there, have been in like countless Korean movies and are actually fairly famous over there, but they're prisoners.
I mean, that's.
Didn't know that. They
different.
can't drink as much as hamsters, though.
I mean, it hasn't been challenged.
Yeah. All right. That's all I'm going to do on this. I'll save a few more. That has been an exciting edition of Didn't Know That. Good time to take a break. When we come back, I think we're going to talk about what happens to your body when you donate it to science.
What happens?
Stick around.
Oh, we'll be right back with
out.
more Audience of One here on Lone Star Community Radio, irlonestar.com/AOO.
Dick, I think we need to talk about something that's really important.
Is this an intervention?
No, that's next. No, I think we need to talk about sponsoring and donating to the show. It's something that I feel very close to, and I think it's good for you.
I think it's important that we tell our listeners that they can donate and sponsor.
Very, very true. Do you like dog food?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's good, because without those sponsorships and donations, dog food may be what you're eating.
Okay.
Don't let Dick eat dog food. Like, follow, subscribe, donate today.
Audience of
One.
Audience of One. Show.
At gmail.com.
Yeah.
We are back, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, John Skeels, for that song. Our intro music by John Skeels. You can check out his SoundCloud in the links below our episodes.
Yeah.
Make sure that you like and subscribe. And everyone, do me a favor and share. Share these episodes. Pound the like button. Tell a friend.
Well, I think it's also important
Tell them
while we're
a
telling them that we're discontinuing the YouTube channel.
Our own YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's going to be on Lone Star. The show is part of the community radio station. And as the manager of the radio station, I don't like splitting all these viewers up.
Yeah, we split viewers up, we split subscribers up, we split content. So that page is going to still be up for a little while. I don't know if we're going to keep it up forever, but it will no longer be loaded with content. So make sure that you go to our Lone Star YouTube page.
And subscribe there.
Every
Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Every Wednesday, 10 a.m., a new show drops. Do you remember the story we had a little bit ago, a few weeks ago, about the girl? This may have been a dick in the news. It was a dick in the news, where she had the nugget stuck in between her seatbelt on her leg in the back seat, the Chicken McNugget.
Oh, and it burned her?
Burned the heck out of her. At the time, I think I said that the parents won the lawsuit. Well, they hadn't, but they did now. They just this past week came out that that lawsuit was settled, and they won $800,000. So you want to go get a Happy Meal?
No, not at all.
Stick it in your drawers?
Not at all.
Man, that was pretty brutal. All right, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And as I found this story, it's a local Florida. I've had people tell me, you've got to just go look up Florida stories because Florida man is the funniest. I thought it was funny, but now after hearing your naked story, it just makes me laugh. So police say that a man strips naked and tries to get frightened young girls to swim with him at the Key West beach. And, of course, if you want to show his picture there, he does look like someone who would probably try and strip naked in public and go swim with some young girls. This is all pretty scary. Police arrested a 45-year-old. That guy's 45 years old? Oh, my gosh. Police arrested a 45-year-old Key West man Wednesday evening after they said he stripped nude in the water at the beach and tried to get two young girls to come swim with him. And then later tried to use a medical condition as an excuse for bathing in the nude. Dick, what do you think his excuse for bathing in the nude next to these young girls were?
I don't know. He was hot.
Well, that's not necessarily a medical condition, but no. So he had a skin irritation, eczema, rosacea. And the water was going to soothe him, so he had to strip down naked. Nice try, dude. That's why you got to be careful walking around naked, man. Good God.
Hey, I thought I was good to go, man. We're in these cool little cabin thingies. I thought we were cool. We were not cool. We're not cool. But yeah, there we go. I showed the picture of him.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So this is just one of these quick headlines that by the way, I found a new website that I find great stories on, whiskeyriff.com. By the way, I saw this headline and I had to click because, well, we have a lot of stories about animals and whatnot, and we just had a story about animals that can drink a ton of booze, and that would be the hamster, right? Mm-hmm. Well, How about this headline for you? Feral hog steals 18 beers, gets drunk, and starts a fight with a cow before passing out under a tree. Yeah, dude, I think I want to hang out with this hog. Sounds like some of the dudes you hang out with, to be honest with
True. That's very true.
you. Starts a fight with a cow. How does a feral hog start a fight with a cow? They're pretty mean, though. Their tusks and whatnot, and I've never seen one on 18 beers. Oh, you ever seen a drunk animal? Like, you ever seen like a drunk dog or something like that before? Oh, it's the worst.
I would never do that.
No, I wouldn't either. It's terrible. First of all, they don't process alcohol the same way we do. It takes like a fraction to get an animal drunk. But I did see, when I was in college, a drunk dog once. And I don't know that they were feeding the dog beer on purpose as much as maybe he knocked over a can and started to imbibe. It's just sad. Watching the dog, one side to side, left and right, stumbling. And, oh, man, the dog's name was Gypsy. And, of course, at the end of the night, it was called Drunken Gypsy. Hey, we've all been there, though, man.
Yep.
I mean, I've picked a fight with a cow after a few beers.
I can see it. You probably thought I was attractive, though.
Oh, have you heard about these? Yeah, right. Did you hear about these things that, like these helicopter rides you can get on and shoot feral hogs from a helicopter?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably fairly expensive, though. But
Yeah.
these feral hogs.
Well, owning a helicopter is expensive.
Well, you don't go.
so-
You don't actually own the helicopter.
I know.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
I'm
The
just
person
saying,
who
yeah,
does
they're
has to pay for.
charging you because it
Sure.
probably costs easily like $1,500 just to operate. the
Probably
thing.
just to get it up into the air and the fuel and everything that's associated with that. But I've seen these advertised where it's like, you want to go on a hog hunt? Yeah, okay, you can come to my land and shoot them because they're taking over in some
Yeah.
cases if the population isn't controlled. But then some people go the next level and you get into a helicopter
Well,
and
you
get
gotta
up
be
there and just
efficient
blow
at
those
it.
bastards out of the sky. It's terrible.
You gotta be efficient.
Do you? I think it's just a numbers
Yeah,
game at that point.
because they have
just scatter the
I-
landscape and kill those.
From what I understand, their major issue is because they have so many litters so fast.
they do, yeah, and their gestation period is really short.
Yeah, if you're just shooting them, you're good.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think the point of conjecture there is it's from a helicopter. For whatever
That's
reason,
cool.
it's fair fight if you're walking on the ground, but you get into a helicopter. Oh, I know. I think it'd be
Imagine if it's a
It'd be awesome.
drone. That'd be even crazier.
like a remote operated drone with an AK on it.
I don't know about an AK, but
Well, what are you gonna? How else are you gonna kill them hogs? What are you gonna shoot a hog with to kill it?
I don't know.
AK's probably got him.
Yeah.
Right. All the hunters right now I'm gonna get inundated with emails. That's not the gun you use to kill a hog.
Is that what they sound like?
Oh,
is that what our hunters sound like?
No, that's
Our onesies?
our onesie hunters.
Oh.
I ain't got nothing against hunters, not at all. But the people who complain, I do. We get lots of complaints.
Yeah, audience1show@gmail.com. I'll make sure Andrew gets all of them.
Yes, unless it's for dating
You
advice.
understand? He's called me like 4 times crying. This guy said I had a funny upper lip.
Sad, man. I can't take those types of complaints.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be on camera, first of all. You made me be on camera.
Yeah.
So this probably could have been on, didn't know that. But it wasn't. I saved it to the second half of the story. Were you aware that Kobayashi, I know we've talked about Kobayashi, the eater, the competitive eater, a few times on this show. He's come up since the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest. Well, you'll probably want to share this next video. Were you aware that back in like 2003 or 4, I'm not entirely sure when, that he had an eating contest with a big old bear?
I'm looking for it.
awesome.
I don't.
Yeah, so apparently he has this eating contest with a bear, which is just funny enough. Anytime you can get bears to compete in competitions with human beings, whether or not it's riding on unicycles or whatever, it's pretty awesome. But what I think is the most funny about it is apparently this is the clip that inspired Joey Chestnut. That tool.
I mean,
The 16-time winner of the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest was inspired by Kobayashi and the giant bear. Well, who do you think won?
giant bear.
The bear kicked his rear, man. Of course. Can't out-eat a bear, especially when it's num-num hot dogs, too. Do you think the bear was wetting his buns?
No.
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 He just went for it. That's a true eater right there. I know you're against the wet buns.
No, I'm not against it. I was just asking, when did that come up? Because, their first hot dog eating
Yeah, like I
competition,
said, I think Kobayashi did it.
they didn't do that. And then I feel like they would have that discussion after someone did it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, I don't think he can really do that. Can he do that?
But wouldn't it be funny if the bear looked over at him and saw him doing that in the water and went, oh, kind of mimicked him, dipped in the water. Maybe could have showed him a cell phone video.
Yeah, that'd be scary. I mean, the fact that you're next to a bear, I'm not really into that.
You couldn't find the video? I put it in the show rundown.
I'm looking. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, man. Now our onesies are going to be deprived of watching a 15-year-old clip of Kobayashi and a bear.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Oh, man. All right. I guess we'll just talk about heat.
Yeah, everyone's going through it.
Everyone's
going it's that time of the
Yeah.
month.
So in recent days, China China.
Yeah.
I cannot hear that word anymore and not think
No,
of
I've
Trump.
been hearing a lot of talk how hot it is,
China.
and I'm just like, I'm always thinking to myself because I grew up in Texas, like, well, it's always hot, but I guess it's hot in
It's
places.
hot everywhere.
It's
Yeah,
hot in
I think
places
that's the difference.
Not the normal.
It's a little bit normal than usual here, and it's hot all over. It's kind of the thing. So everybody's griping about it, and I'm like, well, it is summer, but it's hot in places that don't normally get hot. And I don't know. I'm not familiar with China and their summer temperatures, but they set an all-time high. Would you like to guess what their all-time high was?
120 degrees.
Wow. Did you read the article?
No.
Awesome. You're close. 120. It's a pretty good guess, man. 126 degrees.
Yeah.
At the same time, Death Valley, which that's here in Phoenix, right? Or in the United States in Phoenix, I think. They hit 128 degrees on that same day. Too shy of the highest reasonably measured temperature on Earth. And this is from the Washington Post, putting this story together. And I found it was interesting
California.
because... Oh, is it in California?
Yeah, it's 116 degrees there right now.
Sounds lovely.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. What I didn't know, though, was that apparently human bodies can only start to adequately cool itself up to a certain temperature. And this is why we sweat, right? Your body produces the water, and then the process of the evaporation of the water from your skin is what causes the cooling effect, right? You're sweating right now, aren't you, dude? Mm-mm. Okay, well, some researchers from the University of Pennsylvania State University studied this stuff and said basically that any temperature above 95 degrees, our body cannot adequately recover from. That after that point, you're kind of on your own. I'm like, man, we've been above 95 degrees pretty much every day for the last month. So standing out in that sun, 95 degrees or more, your body cannot cool itself, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's called the wet bulb temperature scale, which factors both temperature and humidity. And it says that the human body loses its ability to cool itself via sweating at 95 degrees. So sweat will cool you off up until a certain point, but right now in this heat, ain't going to do nothing to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's just hot.
Well, yeah, but I didn't realize there was actually a temperature at which, and it says actually in some studies they've shown that the wet bulb temperature is actually closer to 88 degrees where the body starts to lose its ability to cool itself.
Function?
Not function, but to cool itself adequately. So we in a world of hurt, so make sure you staying hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I teased this.
Hey, that should have been part of the I Didn't Know segment.
Oh, yeah, should have been. I'm terrible at putting segments together, aren't I?
Yeah. This whole show.
I think this may officially go down as our worst show ever. It started off with you getting naked when you were holding your clothes in your hand. Then we had a wonderful banger of a segment.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. But you did not know about hamsters, so.
That doesn't change my outlook at all in my life. Like, why would I need to know how much a hamster can drink alcohol? Like, how much alcohol?
The segment was not called, stuff I need to know to better my life. It was called, I didn't know that.
Okay, fine.
And I believe it was successful. But apparently you claim that you knew all about nostrils, right? Oh, I know they switch. Yeah, of course. Everybody knows that. Which side you breathing out of right now?
I'm not breathing out
Tough
of my
guy.
nose. I'm breathing out of my mouth.
You're a mouth breather, are you?
Well, yeah, I'm Homo sapien, dog. I'm just kidding.
Actually, I'm feeling pretty 50-50 right now. I wonder if I'm in mid-nostril change, like right now during the show. Because I'm feeling pretty free and loose with both of these bad boys right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is awesome because... Never mind.
Because you don't have a deviated septum? Thanks
No,
for
because I'm considering donating my body to science, and they probably need somebody with a 50-50 nostril split. So have you ever considered donating your body to science?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm a donor.
Well, you're an organ donor, but that's slightly different than donating your body to science.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. So now, knowing the difference there, have you actually considered donating your body to science?
I would do it.
Yeah. Is it because you feel like you're contributing to society and they learn things from?
I feel like they would handle the funeral.
Well, I don't think. Well, that's an interesting thing. If you donate,
they don't give the body back.
No, there would not be a body there. It would just be the ceremony.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They pay for the finger sandwiches and.
No, I think you wouldn't have to have a casket for my.
Well, no, because you've been donated.
Yeah, I've been donated.
So what are they paying for?
The party. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not gonna.
But I guess you figure, okay, I'm going to be altruistic and give myself back to society, because a lot of times people who donate their bodies to science, they're going to have, for medical purposes. They're going to study things on your body for medical research, and that makes you feel like you're really doing something, right?
It's better than just sitting in the dirt.
Right? Yeah, I guess so. At least you're contributing in some way after your death. I think that's what most people probably think of.
That's how I would look at it.
But a lot of people can't qualify for that, by the way.
I'm not letting you keep my body.
Well, if I'm a doctor...
Is that where this conversation's going?
I don't want your body in any form.
I feel like that's where it's going.
No. Where I'm going is that there are things that... well, you just wait. That there... First of all, not everybody...
Wouldn't that be a great conversation?
What's that? Oh, you going to ask this on a first date?
Can I have your body when you're... dead?
On a first date, yes.
That girl just need to chill out.
As you're reaching into the popcorn at the movie.
Hey, by
the way,
I'm not kidding you. When her friend
have you ever considered donating your body to science?
When her friend sent that to me, I go, did she tell you as if it was a big deal? She's like, yeah, she was crying about it, and I was like, we literally spent the whole day together. Man. I was like, she's pretty good at hiding that stuff.
Although, you could ask her if you wanted to donate her body to science, and she looks at you and raises her eyes and goes, yeah. And you know you got a wild one on your hands right there, man.
Especially after the zoo. Big turn on.
Yeah.
Big turn on.
And that's when you say donated to science. I am science. I think somebody famous said that once. Well, not everybody can donate their body to science, because there's certain limitations if you have, a disease or certain, I guess.
I feel like you can go to the body farm.
The body farm? Or you think they should start cultivating bodies just for this type of
experience? You never heard of the body farm?
Is this a movie?
You can not download. You can donate your body to the body farm up in Sam Houston.
Okay.
You never heard of the body farm?
But is that donating your body to science?
I imagine, because they won't let me go in there. And it's because...
You wanted to visit, huh?
Well, no, it sounded really interesting.
That second date right there?
Oh, I would.
First zoo, then the body farm, baby.
You're into the same things I'm into. No, there's a place where they do environmental studies with the body. And usually, from what I understand, when they were explaining it to me, it was more for research on decomposing bodies in different scenarios. Mm-hmm. And then they study it, and then they can document it, also help CSI people.
It's helping
but they won't let
society.
You go in there. They wouldn't let me in there because
I got to see this, man.
Well, it sounded cool. And
my date wants to see it too. Come on.
No, she said that since when they donate the body, if any of the donors check, basically, I don't want people to see me like this outside of research, then the public can't go in there. So the only way I could technically go there is if I was studying at Sam Houston or something and followed the program and went through 3 years of school.
Got to find a loophole, man. We got to get you in there.
I thought it'd be cool.
If for no other reason, show content.
Well, yeah, it was weird. She goes why would you want to do that? I was like, because it sounds really interesting. There's different things they do with bodies, I think she was describing that, they do outside environmental, different dirts, different animals, and then they have different rooms for different scenarios, it's been underwater for 142 days.
Yeah, so you're starting to go where I was taking this.
Yeah, I'm like, that'd be cool to see what's going on.
So it says here, this is from Popular Mechanics, just because you signed up to become a donor doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get it. If you've had any communicable diseases like HIV, hepatitis, tuberculosis, or even COVID-19, you may be excluded, okay? So hopefully you'll have to lie on your communicative disease portion checkbox there. Nope. Mm-mm. So, but the thing is, what a lot of people don't realize is that after you're dead, I don't think you have a lot of choice as to where they send you. You might end up at a medical center, where they perform things like this, or you might end up as a crash test dummy.
Yeah.
Or they end up...
I'm okay with that.
Or they want to see how bullets enter the body, and so they tie you up to a tree and shoot at you, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's the
you
body
have no
farm.
idea.
I
Yeah, you
can't believe
have
never heard of the
no
body farm.
idea. So I don't think a lot of people realize this. I think they're picturing something very medicinal and medical and clean, and they're going to operate on you at Johns Hopkins or some Hopkins. No. We're going to take you and beat a club over your head to study like brain spatter or something. So you may want to think twice before you donate your body, because you may end up being a punching bag or a human crash test dummy. No, I think, are they selling? No, you said you can't go in. I was saying, are they selling tickets? Because I got
No, they won't let anyone in unless you're part of some research. They'll let you in, but they also won't let you in to see any other body but for your research. So, but it's like, I don't know how many acres it is, but it's large. It's a large place, and so there you go. I mean, I thought it was a cool thing. Did you not know that there's a body farm down the road?
Didn't know that.
Idiot.
I need some music for that. I need a sounder for that. Yeah, man. Come on.
I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I closed out of our. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. No wonder I couldn't find that stuff. I had the wrong document open.
Like, man, this show, Andrew's all over the place.
Yeah, I'm like, what is he talking about? Sorry, that's what I've been like trying to pay attention to, and it's kind of hard to
Man,
do.
Andrew is really all over the place. No wonder you haven't brought. Well, you brought some stuff up from the first half of the show.
I remember that.
Oh man. Okay, well, that's how to effectively donate your body to science. I found it fairly interesting. Along the
I agree. I mean, that's. I guess you really can't be a chooser on that. Like, you're kind of
That's
like.
what I'm saying. You don't really have a choice. You may think you're going to be contributing to society in some way, and I guess you are, no matter what. But I don't think I would want to be used in that particular way.
Yeah, but I mean, you're dead. Who cares?
I know. It's still odd, though, man. I just don't want to picture myself flying through a windshield, even if I am
That'd be
dead.
tight.
Yeah, well, again, these are probably things that could happen.
That'd be tight.
All right. Body Farm, Dick, right after he goes to the Phallological Museum,
I would do something crazy.
then we need to donate his body.
Yeah, I'd be like, just set me up a bunch of, like, in front of sharks or something, and just see what happens. How far can they jump out of the water?
Oh, for you? Not very, probably.
Yeah, like, it's not good. No, we could do the orca. We could test how really
Those things are vicious.
how really mean have the orca's been, and it's like, just put my body and hang it, and then
Those things really are vicious, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't
we've
know if
been
you've ever
talking
seen-
about
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if you've ever seen like footage of them when they decide.
they've been sinking boats. Dude.
Oh, I know. But I'm talking with other animals when they decide it's time. Do you know that like when there's a pack of orcas around, the great white sharks disappear? Like they don't even want to jack with them. They're like, oh, these guys are crazy.
Yeah, because they'll literally eat you in one bite.
Yeah, man, they're nuts and they're
The
violent.
great white will nibble. I mean, those guys are like, no, you're dead.
I heard this story one time where this lady was on a boat and this freaking sea lion like jumps into her boat and she's like, "What the heck, man?" And she's kind of freaking out, scared, and she's trying to kind of get the thing off of its, off of her boat. And she looks over and there's a pack of orcas all just following her boat, just waiting. So that thing was getting out of the water to avoid the orcas, and she's pushing it back into its sheer death, right? Poor thing. Get off my boat. I would have probably just said, all right, dude, me and you were simpatico for the next 10 minutes and just gunned it.
The orca didn't have the right papers. Or the
What?
The sea lion didn't have the right papers. You're off the boat.
Get off the boat. Get off the boat.
Have you seen the stingray video
Which one?
that jumps into the boat?
No.
You never seen that? It's pretty gnarly.
Put it on the run sheet for next week. Or is it not something we can show? Is it that gnarly?
No, I don't think anyone dies.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, it was just a big old stingray, and it just kind of like glided, like just comes out of the water, and you're like, oh, look at that stingray, and then it just like lands on these people.
Holy cow.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, cool. Like it's
Yeah.
a giant, because those things can get massive.
Yeah.
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 You ever touch one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have too. Like in the little what do you call them? What are those things called where you go to they're not
Like
the zoo-
SeaWorld?
Yes, like SeaWorld. What are those things
I
called?
don't
Like
know.
I said I'm drawing a blank. It's water zoos. Aquariums. That's the word that escaped me.
I don't know.
Aquariums. Yeah, man. They kind of come up and you pet on them or whatever. They're kind of soft and cool looking. But anyway, so I got a couple stories here before the end of the show. Did you know there is a baby clinic in Argentina that has been accused? There could be a lot of things it could be accused of, especially in Argentina, but I thought this was kind of crazy, of printing the same scans for all of the moms-to-be. So like you get the little pictures of the babies or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
Dude, this is so wrong, man. So I guess in an effort to save money, they don't actually have to have any equipment that works or takes pictures. They've just been sending out the same picture to everybody. And I mean, I guess at some point they all kind of look the same in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it with that, it's like no one would really know unless you're a doctor or a nurse or like a trained, whatever you want to call it. Like, I would never know. I'd be like, okay, cool.
So how it was exposed was she shared her picture on Twitter, what believed to be her baby. Hey, check it out. Here's my baby. But then another woman responded to the post, confusingly noting that, I kind of have the same image. And when a third person came forward and said, yeah, I have the same image too. Yeah, it was, the gig was up, man.
Well, it's probably because of social media. Like, they were posting it to the internet.
Yeah, it was, I think they said Twitter or something like that. But yes, it doesn't say how much these things cost, but I imagine it's all got to be around like a cost savings thing for the hospital. What could go wrong again, man? Right?
I mean, hospitals they be doing shady stuff.
Yeah. Have you Well,
that's what's one thing that's wild to me, the idea of hospitals, because
the idea of hospitals,
this aspect of a hospital, like,
okay.
Typically when you go to the hospital, you don't pay up front. You don't pay when you leave.
Yeah, but I think on those ultra scans, if you pay for like the upgraded 5, this is like the upgraded high 5D ultrasound. Or whatever.
I'm talking like just in general. Like, you might pay a copay, or you might, because like every time I've gone, it's always like a varied number. But then there's the back office is like collecting money from someone, like the insurance. And I imagine it's not as clear cut as like, oh, patient 1222, this is what they got. Give us $4,000, and they're gonna be like, well, do they really get that? It's not just automatic. So I wonder how their cash flow works at these hospitals. And their guy was like, you know what? If we just give them the same picture, we're saving $400 a month. So,
and no one's gonna know. All those things look exactly the same.
They're all idiots. They're pregnant. They're idiots.
Oh man.
Because that's one thing I loved about knowing friends who were in the medical field. Like, they were just numb.
Yeah, you have to be, I think,
like,
at a certain
they're just
point.
numb to people. It's like, they're all idiots. Everyone's just an idiot.
Especially when they find things stuck up their rear end. Yeah. That's like, you kind of asked for it, but now I have to operate. Thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Now I got to go fish out a Hot Wheel where I'm never supposed to have been. Thanks.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay. You ever had a noise in your house? I think this literally happened to me today, where you hear a sound and you're like, I wonder what that could be. I had a sound that I'm guessing it was a pack of squirrels or something that decided to run along my roof line, because it just sounded like... And I thought, man, that was weird. Because sometimes I live in a place that's fairly wooded, some limbs or something will fall and you'll hear a thud, but this was a scurry. And I thought, man, that's crazy. Didn't think too much of it and moved on. But from one South Lake Tahoe, California, she had something underneath her house that she was not quite expecting. Would you like to take a guess? Heard noises underneath her house.
Not a stingray.
No.
Would it be a bear?
Look at you.
Am I right?
Dick in the news. Way to go. It is not one bear. It is 5. And they were hibernating underneath her house.
Oh, wow.
And she's hearing these noises for a while, I guess, as they move and kind of whatever, grunting. They make noises and snort. Absolutely. I mean, that's what I would do if I was a bear and hibernating. But yeah, she had 5 bears underneath her house. Good God, dude, for months and didn't know it. She said she would heard occasional noises like that of purring beneath the floorboards. Dude, that's crazy. I do oftentimes wonder about like what's in between the walls of my house.
I wonder how much drinking she's doing.
Well, I mean...
Because I'm pretty sure the first night I've heard it, I'm like, I'm hearing something. This is weird. This isn't like the wind creaking, the house.
Yeah, the house is purring.
Yeah, I'll be like, what's going on here? Like, I remember first time I stayed with one of our family friends in Maryland, they had one of those old houses where like all the piping was copper and all the like the older style piping, and that house was so noisy.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know how you can sleep in this place, because it's just constant, like
creaking and rattling. Yeah, it's an old
like
house. Yeah.
I was like, this house is coming alive.
Well, this apparently was a mama and 4 cubs.
So what do you do with that? Like, say you're like, oh, let me go see if something broke, and like you have your flashlight, you open the deal, and then there's
exactly
a bear.
That's exactly what she did.
And then you freak out, and then like you just call the ranger and be like, "Hey, I found some bears."
She called, I guess, an exterminator, and he said that they shined the flashlight into the area, and they saw a pair of eyes flashing back at them from the far back corner of the house. Bears don't hibernate deeply. They go into a lighter state of sleep called torpor, which they could be heard snoring, nursing, and rolling around. That's so freaky, man. Lake Tahoe.
I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Pretty darn cool.
But
all right.
Check your basements, dude.
Yeah, check your basements, man. Last story before we leave, guys. We're going to end on a happy note. I did this a couple weeks ago, and it seemed to get a lot of response. Ending on a happy note rather than a phallological museum story. Did you know
Maybe I did cut it out on purpose.
Yeah, no, it was greatness. You know it. Did you know that the World Championship snail racing has made its triumphant return?
Yeah, COVID really just hurt everybody, dude.
No kidding. It actually had not returned because of COVID. I'm like, that's been a while, dude. But apparently people who are into snail racing are very concerned.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I feel like if I was into snail, I'm like, screw it. Let's just have it.
I mean, I could see 2020, all right, maybe we miss a year. But you missed 2020, 2021, and 2022. Anyways, it has made its triumphant return this past weekend in England. All right. It is actually the longest-running humane snail racing world championship. And I didn't know there were multiple, but apparently this is a thing, Dick.
I mean, again, not my cup of tea, and I probably wouldn't even be interested to watch it.
So, how long do you think the raceway for the snails is?
I would say a foot.
Damn, you are on fire today, bro. 13 inches.
Because I was like, it has to be long enough to where it's an actual race, but it has to be short enough to where it doesn't take all day.
They should put this on your betting channel that you've been talking about.
I'm telling you. No, it would take too long still. The betting channel has got to go.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't say how long it takes them to go 13 inches, but it does say the world record of 22 seconds. Oh, that's what it was. The world record is 22 seconds. I thought it said inches. So the world record is 22 seconds to go 13 inches, set by a snail named Archie in 1995.
I don't know, man.
Oh, I think I'd like to go to a snail race. Snail racing people, you're my kind of people. You know what? Those are the people.
Yeah, you're paper airplane kind of guys. So,
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
Definitely.
And snail racing.
Yeah, definitely.
Love them. All right, guys, that's all we got for this week. Thank you for joining us once again. Again, like, share, subscribe, follow, tell a friend about how amazing Audience of One really is.
I like it. We'll see you every Wednesday at 10 a.m.
That's right.
We're on podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And Andrew, it was good to see you today.
Did you do something different with the camera today?
Yeah,
With the cameras?
some of the it's a little different.
Yeah? Well, maybe the users, good grief, the listeners
Onesies?
the onesies can let us know if they like our new
Yeah.
camera setup or design. It's a little bit
Well,
more.
let them zip up first.
It's a little bit more
Let 'em
button up.
button up.
Yeah, or
and then-
snap up. Snapping, but
I don't
button
know.
sounds
I like
better.
zipping up. It's more
Yeah, button
fun.
up onesies. They'll let us know whether or not they liked it, I guess.
But hey, it was good to see you. We'll see you
It's
guys next
a romantic
Wednesday.
setting that way.
I guess.
Next Wednesday. Bye, guys.